Okay, so this is chapter 7 over here. Very short, just these questions. It's about electron configuration. Okay, for electron configuration, at our level, we're only responsible for the first 20 elements. For these questions, I'm gonna skip these. Okay, these. We're gonna skip them. So, for electron configuration, basically, each atom, let's give you an example, Na, it has an atomic number and a mass number. Na, I think, is 20 something, I don't know. But what we're talking about here is the atomic number, because you know that an atom, the electrons is equal to the number of protons. This atomic number determines the number of protons and thus the number of electrons. We took this before. However, if I came and told you Na plus, it would be 11 protons, but since it's plus 1, that means it lost 1 electron, so it's going to be 10 electrons. Okay, this is easy. The way atoms look is they have shells. Now we're responsible of knowing up to 4 shells. So let me redraw this. Na, we said, has 11, right? So I'm going to draw an A. You have 4 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4. For our level, you should know this. They all have maximum capacities. The first shell can't hold past 2. The second shell can't hold past 8. The third also 8. The fourth 2. So let's start. We have 11 electrons, so let's start throwing them in. X, X, that's 2. Now the second one. X, 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 X. You know, no, don't draw like this. Draw 1 by 1, don't draw 2 by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8. We still have 1 more, so it's going to be over here. That way, the fourth shell is empty. So I can take my eraser, and I can just take. And in my exam, I won't draw 4 shells. I'll draw 1 by 1. So I drew the fourth one for the sake of explaining. That's it. So when they tell you write it, you're not going to go draw it. You have 2 methods of writing. The 2882 and SPDF. In the exam, 90% of the time they ask SPDF. For 2882, you basically look at each shell and count. The first shell is 2, so you write 2. The second shell, I have 8, so I'm going to write 8. For my third shell, I only have 1. So this is, using the 2882 method, is going to be 281. Using SPDF, this is how you do it. For our level, we won't be using DNF, but you need to know how it works. S has a maximum capacity of 2, P has a maximum capacity of 6. This is how it goes. Na, it's 281, right? So here's how we start. For the first shell, the maximum capacity is 2. So I'm just going to write 1s2. Then, when you move on to the second shell, you have to say 2. Now I'm on the second shell. I have 8, right? 8 electrons. 2 go to the S, so S2. Now there's 6 that go to the P, so 2p6. Right now I have 2, 4, 10. Remember, we need to go to the third shell. So now I open the third shell, I write 3. I have 1 electron. You go to the S first, so I write S1. That's it. I don't write P, because I need to get 2 S's before I move on to P. Easy as. So let's solve the questions. Na we just did, so it's gonna show you now. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. P15, okay? Always start with the 2882 method. Or you know what, some people write SPD first. So I'm gonna solve using 2882 and then SPDF. Right? P15. Let's start. 2, 8, I'm on 10. There's 5 left, so we're gonna put 5. Okay, how about using SPDF? You start with S2, always the first shell, 1s2. You move on to the second shell. I always start with S. S can hold 2. Since I moved on to the second shell, 2s2. But I'm holding 8 in the second shell, so I need 6 more. And where are these 6 gonna go? They're gonna go to the P. So 2p6. Okay, let's see. I have a third shell which has 5. Okay, so now I open the third shell. Always start with S. I have 5. So the S always takes 2. 5 minus 2, 3. So I have 3 left over. And where's the 3 gonna go? They go to the P. So 3p3. How about K19? Always start with 2882. K19 would be 2, 8, I have 10. 19 minus 10 is 9. So I can fill up the third shell. I can put 8. This is now 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. So the fourth shell, I'm going to move on to the fourth shell and put 1. Now using SPDF. First shell, 1s2. Second shell, you're going to take 2s2. Why 2? The big number outside is always the number of shells you're on. 2s2. Type. We still have 6 more. 8 minus 2 is 6. So where are these 6 going to go? They're going to go to the P. Even if you're on the second shell and you said 2s2, you have to say 2p as well. Okay? Type. We have a third shell. It has 8. Always. Since you're on the third shell, open with 3. You start with S, so you say 3s. How many does the S take? Always 2. 8 minus 2, 6. So there's 6 left over. Who takes them? The P. So you say 3p6. Type OK. We have a fourth shell that contains 1. So since the fourth shell, 4. And you start with S, 1. There you go. So obviously, these aren't required. So we're going to look at these answers over here. And compare them to the ones over here. You can see they're the same. Okay. It takes practice, but you need to learn. Okay. Always start with 282 method. And then just copy it using SPDF. Now, with ions. Okay. Again, I'm going to start at 2882. Then I'm going to use SPDF. O2 minus. Remember, electron configuration. How many electrons does O2 minus have? Originally it has 8. Since it's 2 minus, it gained 2. So it's going to have 10 electrons. If you want a fast way, always subtract this number by whatever you have here. 8 minus 2 is 10 electrons. Type you have 10 electrons. So we're going to start with 2. We're going to move on to 8. 10 minus 2 minus 8. Khalas, we're done. 8. So using SPDF, start with 1s2. You move on to the second shell. So 2. S, how much? S only takes 2. But there should be 8. So 8 minus 2 is 6. So where do the other 6 go? They go to P. So 2p6. 2, 4, 6, 10. So we're done. We're done with the O2 minus. Na plus. Again, to know the amount of electrons, 11 minus 1 is 10. So 10 electrons. So it should have the same configuration as the one above it. So you start with 2. 10 minus 2, 8. So we go 8. Then SPDF, first shell, you start with 1s2. Second shell, you start with 2s2. S takes 2, always. 8 minus 2, 6. So it's going to be 2p6. Mg2 plus 12. How many electrons? 12 minus 2, 10. So it should have the same configuration. 2, 8, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. And 3 minus. And 3 minus 7. 7 minus 3, 10 electrons. So same configuration. There shouldn't be a comma here, sorry. easy as, remember we're not responsible for these. Okay, question 6, use the periodic table, very easy. We'll go through this very fast. Okay, barium oxide, barium is over here, Ba2 plus. I'll do the first one, oxide is O2 minus, crisscross, you're gonna get BaO. The rest, use periodic table. It's very easy to do it, you should be able to do it yourself. There are 2 exceptions you should know, and they are sulfur and boron. Boron is B3 plus, and sulfur is S2 minus. Wait, no, boron isn't an exception. I don't know why I said it's an exception, but sulfur is S2 minus. Okay? The rest is very self-explanatory. Yani aluminium is Al3 plus. Yani these are all very easy. Grade 10 stuff. Crisscross. All crisscross. Write the electron configuration of these two. We always start with 2882. Li is 2. Start with the first shell. Remember, we're doing 2882. The first shell is going to be 2. How much is left? 3 minus 2, 1. So I'm only going to have 2, 1. Using SPDF, you're going to start with 1, S2. 3 minus 2, 1. So I only have 1 left. So I'm going to open the second shell by saying 2. And this time S is only going to have 1. خلاص, I'm done. P15. Using 2882, you start with 2. 8 is 10. 15 minus 10 is 5. So I have 5 left. SPDF, start with 1 S2. We're done from the first shell. Second shell is 8. So 2 S2, 2 P6. We have 5 left in the third shell. So open the third shell. S2. If there's 3 left. So all of those 3 goes to who? Goes to P. So 3P3. That's it. Let's check the answer. There you go. Write the configuration of the following atoms using 288 method. This is the easy method, right? So Na11, obviously we're going to say 2, 8, 11 minus 10 is 1, so 1 is going to be left. For oxygen, it's going to be 2, then 6, right? Because 8 minus 2, 6. So there's 6 left, they go to the second shell. Very easy, let's see. So easy. Okay, question 15. Whatever these are 3 atoms, A, B, and C, answer. This came in a written part in a previous year. Okay, so make sure you know it. Give the reason why particle C is negative. Let's see. You have 8 protons. Let's count how many electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, because there's more electrons than protons. 10 electrons versus number of electrons more than protons. Why A, B, and C are particles of the same element? Why are they the same element? 8 neutrons. 8 protons, sorry. 8 protons, 8 protons. They all have the same number of protons. Right? Or you can say same atomic number. Why A and B are isotopes of the same element? Why are they isotopes? They both have the same number of protons, but different number of neutrons. But you have to say something that they put in the marking scheme. Apparently our teacher told us that you have to mention. طب why مثلا they didn't say C is an isotope as well? Because C has 10 electrons, but these both have 8. So you have to say same number of protons and electrons, but different number of neutrons. Okay, you have to say and electrons. Part 4, why A is a nonmetal? Okay, A has 8 protons, right? And it has 8 electrons. So this is neutral. It's calm, right? It's easy. Okay, until you want to figure it out if it's a metal or non-metal. We know non-metals are on the right. metals are on the left. How do I know if it's on the left or right? Let's see. How many electrons in its outer shell? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be what? It's going to be group 6. Right? So if I go to my periodic table, I go to group 6 over here. Isn't this the right side of the periodic table? This isn't group 6, huh? This isn't group 6. Group 6 is column 16. I go to group 6. These are all non-metals. So for that reason, it has 6 electrons, so 6 valence electrons. So it belongs to group 6. Other answers are like this. You can say this if you want. So I don't prefer. Okay. Part B, use the periodic table to find A. Obviously, 8 protons, so you can go, it's obviously oxygen, right? Write the atomic symbol for particle C. It's 8 protons, so it's oxygen. But you don't say 8, 16. Why? Because it has how many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what? Yeah, 9, 10. It has 10 electrons. But the original amount of electrons is 8. So how many did it gain? It gained 2. And when you gain 2, that means your charge is negative. So let's see. Like this, right? Up here, I forgot to write its atomic symbol. Of course, the atomic symbol will just be like this. Okay? An atom X has 16 electrons. What will be the electronic structure of X? Oh, we'll see. We start with 2882 method. It's going to be 2, 8, 16 minus 10 is 6, so it's going to be 6 left over. Using SPDF, it's going to be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, we're left with 6. Always open the third shell with 3s. How many does s take? 2. 6 minus 2, 4. So there's 4 electrons left now, so p will take 4. Okay, like this. 286. These should be 3s. Of course, it's wrong, huh? Okay, like this, we're done. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck.